Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Getting fumbled already. Just had a good one wrap up. The IPFW women beat number 3 Southern Indiana 104-94. Now it's the men's turn. They take on number 5 Southern Indiana. They come in at 14-2, 7-1 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. And Dan Gephardt, Associate Athletic Director, they put the points on the board in a hurry.
They sure do, Paul, and we need to slow ourselves down after that last game. Is we got to get in a little slower mode here, but I'm not sure this game's going to slow down. Southern Indiana comes in ranked 5th in the nation, tied for 1st in the GLVC. They got a record of 14-2. They're a very, very good ball club. They've got they won't be very big starting. They'll be like 6'5", 6'5", 6'7" across the front line, but they'll crash the boards. They've got some guys who aren't afraid to put it up from three-point range. They got a 6'9" guy that's a transfer from Indiana State, who part of his deal to transfer was that he didn't have to play inside, that he could shoot from outside. You're going to see him put up a lot of shots. They're going to score a lot of points. Dick Demanian, the assistant coach, told me before the game that they'll press the whole game. And if IPFW is key to victory tonight, if there is a key to victory against the ball club this talented, is to be able to break the press and run their offense and not make mistakes.
So Russ Marcinek, 5'8", will be very crucial. You might remember last year Southern Indiana went all the way to the final in Division II, and they had a big guy, 6'10", Chris Bowles, Great Lake Valley Conference Player of the Year, 6'10", who used to shoot from the outside, so no surprise Chad Gilbert might do the same. Come in here, though, Stan Guard is the man, the forward, 20 points a game. He is number 25. Watch him tonight. We'll swing down the floor. Let's pick up the starting lineups.
At the other guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Lyons, Indiana, number 15, Mark Hostetter. At forward, a 6'5" junior from Danville, Illinois, number 25, Stan Gerard. At the other forward, a 6'7" senior from Wichita, Kansas, number 40, Cortez Barnes. And at center, a 6'5" junior from Evansville, Indiana, number 45, Scott Boyden. Screaming Eagles are coached by Bruce Pearl, Rick Hertz, Craig Martin, and Joe Patton. And now the starting lineup for your IPFW Mastodons. At guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Whiteland, Indiana, number 10, Ryan Glidden. At the other guard, a 5'9" senior from Hammond, Indiana, number 21, Russ Marcinek. At forward, a 6'1" freshman from New Haven, Indiana, number 25, Jason Whirling. At the other forward, a 6'7" freshman from Linston, Indiana, number 41, Dane Adams. And at center, a 6'7" sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 44, Ryan Bond.
Okay, let's run down those starting lineups one more time for you. For Southern Indiana, at one guard, Brian Hebner, 6'3". He's a senior out of Evansville. 15, Mark Hostetter gets a start at the other guard, sophomore. Stan Guard, forward, 20 points a game. Watch him. He's number 25. Gets started forward. Cortez Barnes also joins him at a forward position. And they don't have a center. Scott Boyden also starts forward, 6'5", 215. For IPFW, a small lineup. Brian Glidden, Jason Whirling, 6'2" and 6'1", 5'8". Russ Marcinek at the point. Dane Adams, 6'7", getting some starts here for IPFW. He's going to have to play in the low post with Ryan Bond, 6'7", transfer from Vincennes Junior College.
Not only small, but very young. 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a senior out there, Paul. And IPFW's got it. They've been molding pretty well together, and they've been able to withhold the pressure. So it'll be real interesting tonight to see what kind of pressure Southern Indiana puts on and how well IPFW reacts to it.
Dane Adams getting sent to jump it up. Boyden wins the tip, and we're underway. IPFW man-to-man. They'll run the flex offense down at the other end. Variation, double post. Immediately testing out Adams with the roll. It's Cortez Barnes.
Barnes is a transfer from Tennessee, I believe.
Boy, it's nice to bring the transfers in from Division I programs, huh?
Makes a big difference.
This is Glidden now down to Bond. Tough pass. Bond can't handle. Now no one's going to pick it up. Hostetter, the point. 6'3", working on Marcinek. Bond failing to pick up. Tries to get out of the board. Barnes wrestles away. A lot more movement on the offensive end of Southern Indiana. IPFW knocks that one away. Glidden retrieves. Now Marcinek. This is Whirling on the outside. He is one of the freshmen out there from Woodland, Indiana. Kicks outside, stolen away. This is Guard, a 1-on-2, going to push anyway. Got away with a walk? No, he didn't.
Guard's a take-charge player, Paul. He's going to be the one that's going to lead this team to victory or defeat. And you saw him right there. He's not afraid to go to the baskets. As you said, he scores over 20 points a game. So,
well, he had a lot of experience last year.
I believe he was the most valuable player at the Elite Eight for Southern Indiana.
We'll check that out. We'll get some confirmation on that. And the Elite Eight is the Division II version of the Final Four in Division I. This is Glidden on the dribble. 12 on the clock. Let's fly. Bond with the board and the back. Two. We're just a minute and a half in. Barnes now over to Guard, looking inside. Hebner saves. Glidden gets a piece of it, stolen away by Adams. Now Marcinek looking, 3-on-3. Outside, Bond inside. Adams with a cut.
Boy, IPFW is really unselfish, Paul. Just looking for the open man, and they're doing a lot of cutting underneath. You talked about the flex offense. Southern Indiana will do the same thing when they get to their end of the court.
Lob pass into Guard, covered up, but finds a way to glass it home. 3 IPFW players standing around, and Guard just backed into the whole lot of them, puts it off the glass, ties it at 4. Now Marcinek. Both teams in man. Looking inside, Bond wanting to screen outside. Rebounded out of there. Southern Indiana, this is Barnes on the push for a pull-up 3. Glidden down with the board. Both teams feeling each other out right now. Barnes comes in, shoots 3-pointers, 33% from the field. First substitution of the night for Southern Indiana. Larry Eady in, and number 22 in as well, Kevin Caldwell.
Paul, I expect we'll see a lot of that tonight. Southern Indiana has 9 players averaging over 15 minutes a game, and IPFW has 10 players over 15 minutes a game. So I think we're going to see a lot of guys in and out tonight.
That buzzer's going to be working overtime. Bad play by Glidden, stolen away by Barnes on the inbounds. Woo! Blocked away by Adams after the assist from the outside. Should have been a bucket. Adams picks up the first foul. 3 minutes in, tied at 4, first foul of the game.
That was a great pass from outside. I'm not sure if it was number 12 or number 22, but it was just a great quick pass almost from half court to underneath the bucket.
Larry Eady with a pass on the outside. 6'1", junior.
IPFW is going to have to do a good job transitioning from offense to defense, because it looks like USI is going to get up and down the floor.
And missing the first. Scott Bowden will have the second. Just looking down here at the stats quickly, they do average over 100 points a game. They only give up 86. IPFW, well, they don't average near 100 points. Come in here tonight, averaging 76. Something's going to give. 1 of 2 from the free throw line. It's 5-4 now. Southern Indiana. Glidden now working out on Guard. You can see IPFW is slowing the pace down in the half-court game. First foul for Southern Indiana. Give that one to Kevin Caldwell. You don't hope for a repeat of the game that just preceded this. We had a lot of fouls in that game.
Well, we had a lot of points at this point in the game also in the first game, so it doesn't
That's
look
true.
like it's offensively going to be the same kind of game.
55 fouls in the first game between the women. Southern Indiana, number 3 going down. Lady Dons, this is Marcinek now. The shot clock was reset on the foul. Jason Whirling over to Glidden. Outside. New person in the game, Chad Gilbert, got a hand on it. Knocked it away, but turns it right back over.
IPFW is trying to force it inside, Paul, and I'm not sure that inside, I think they're going to have to pull up for that 12 or 15-foot jump shot and try to bring that defense is packed in tight out a little bit.
Well, there are plenty of candidates. Glidden is better off the straight-up shot than creating on his own. Here he goes for three. No dishes to Bond for the lay-in. 6'5" IPFW. Bond now with 4 points.
But before you can get that out of your mouth, Southern Indiana's down the other end of the court. So, again, a transition game is going to be extremely important tonight.
And you touched on it in the opening. IPFW is going to have to get some minutes from everybody tonight. Steve Sanders will come in off the bench. Jason Burkhart will be another. Casey Runyon got away with a walk. The dish. Glidden steals. Looking ahead. Decides to pull it out now. Covered up now, whirling outside. Adams. Marcinick one-on-one to clear out. Now Bond and Whirling swing to that side of the floor. Whirling with the ball. 20 on the shot clock. Marcinick. Skip past Glidden. 4-3. And that will be IPFW ball off the hands of Larry Eddie. Or Eddie, rather. Excuse me. Scott Bowden coming back, or Cortez Barnes rather, number 40, and first time we've seen Joel Thomas in tonight. So they are throwing 6'5" bodies at IPFW.
Chad Gilbert's in. Chad Gilbert's a transfer from ISU, and is a three-point shooter. So they've got a number of three-point shooters on this team.
ISU to USI. Thomas comes in immediately. Goes to work, low post. First bucket for him, and now 7-6 Southern Indiana. IPFW getting ready to play the substitution game. Marcinick.
Well, that's a scary thought, Paul, to see that little guy taken downside with all those big guys down there.
5'8" going glass. Got it up right-handed. Nice play by Marcinick. He's a senior. He's got to provide some leadership. Mismatch now. Eddie. With the pop-out, Marcinick had lost his man. Eddie goes home for two. 9-8. 3-on-1. Adams with a pump fake. Missing everything. Kick out. This is Gilbert now. Doesn't want the shot. Guarded by Bond, rather. 20 on the clock. Kevin Caldwell. That is a three. And Glidden now. IPFW is going to try and push. Glidden missing. Thomas out of there with the board. 12-8. Did he travel? Coach Bruce Pearl not thinking so. Familiar name, Bruce Pearl. Did some coaching at Illinois.
And at the University of Iowa. I believe he was an assistant to Tom Davis at the University of Iowa also.
That's right, and well, a lot of people might remember the name. Not going to say Cherokee or anything like that, but he's got a sterling resume as far as recruiting players. Now this is Marcinick on the outside. 25 on the clock. He's guarded by Hebner just into the contest. Marcinick clogged up in the middle. Steve Sanders just in the game, missing from 15. Kyle Kirby working the board. It's off Kirby going the other way.
Paul, actually, I'm a little bit surprised. We haven't seen USI play, but I was expecting a lot more pressure on their full court press. But actually, they're picking the pressure up at about a quarter court, and they're making it real difficult for IPFW to run their offense and get any open shots.
Well, you talk about a young team on the floor right now. Steve Sanders, Kyle Kirby, both freshmen. So when the substitutions come in for IPFW as Hebner goes glass, you don't gain any more experience. Marcinick now, the foot press is picked up full court. And Hebner with a turnover. Hostetter back to Hebner. Runyon with the board, 14-8. 6.5 into this contest. IPFW looking for the upset. Number 5, Southern Indiana. 14-2 against 5-12. Glidden now in the lane, nowhere. And Marcinick now resetting. The offense is misfiring right now. Sanders open for three. He can hit that shot. Not this time. Barnes comes out of there with a board. Gilbert, Hostetter, back to Barnes. 4-3. He'll take that shot. He's taken 104 on the year. Makes him about 33% of the time. Now 17-8. Southern Indiana and Piazza are going to take a timeout, try and regroup here.
The College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including IPFW sports telecast. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to Channel 6 at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. Or call us at 481-6000.
8-0 run by Southern Indiana. Was 9-8 at one point. Both teams trading baskets early on.
Paul, two comments I have here. Number one is that watching Southern Indiana, it looks like you don't want to let them build up a very big lead because it looks like it's going to be difficult to get back in the game. At the same time, I said that about Kentucky Wesleyan, and the young IPFW ball club did get down by about 12 early in the game last Thursday night.
Stuck around.
So, you know, this is a group of kids that aren't going to quit, but they can't make mistakes. And right now they've had a couple turnovers, they've had a couple forced shots, and they just really need to work their offense and try to get those buckets like they did early in the game when they got a couple of guys open underneath. So.
I know we worked this experience angle to death here, but when you do have younger players, they're not as capable of coming back from a huge deficit. So if this thing gets up around 20 points, it could be pretty tough for IPFW to come back.
Well, and you know, at some point in time in the freshman year, you cease to become a freshman.
That's true, too.
But at the same time, you're looking at a team that's been to the championship game of the national tournament, and a number of players were on that team, and so they've got a heck of a lot of experience. So it's not only our young kids, it's against a very, very experienced team at the other end of the court.
Hebner and Guard started last year from Southern Indiana. So you got two holdovers. 17-8, Jeff Jackson just in the game. Steve Sanders, he can score. Freshman from Greenwood, first bucket of the night for him. IPFW defense scrambling that time to bail out Travelon Barnes.
His mind was a little quicker than his feet.
Never had that problem when you played, did you, Dan?
I never had that problem.
And of course, one of the greats. Oh, Jackson with a rebound, or scrap that.
Not quite sure how he come up with that, but that's a good garbage basket that we need to pick up all night long.
Inside. Scott Boyden with the basket. 19-12. Worley now having trouble picking up the ball. Ahead to Sanders. Sanders back outside to Worley. Swing it now to Jackson. Wants Kirby wide open. Put his man on his hit. And one. No. Wipe it off. Kirby with a hook.
That's a tough call, Paul, but I think it's a right call. He used his left hand to clear a path to the basket.
First foul on Kirby. That is only the third foul of the game. We're 8 minutes in. Boyden now guarded by Jackson. Quite a height disparity there. Now IPFW has gone to the zone. Don't normally play it. Whirling, trying to get it. Here's Hebner. 21-12. Southern Indiana applying the full court pressure.
That was a real smart play by Jeff Jackson there. IPFW has been able to break the press, but what they're doing is Southern's making a very good transition and forcing shots and oftentimes intercepting. Jackson just backed it out, tried to get the team to run the offense, and I think that's what Dick Demanian said early. If we can break the press, then we need to settle down and run our offense and try to get some baskets. Make them work on defense. Don't give them easy buckets going the other way.
This is Kirby now. One-on-one, the reach around by Boyden. Right now, a couple of outside shooting threats for IPFW on the bench. Russ Marcinek and Ryan Glidden. Glidden had 5 3-pointers Thursday night. 25 points overall. Whirling, that's off of Whirling. Going the other way. No rhythm right now in the offensive end for IPFW.
No, and part of that, Paul, I think is what you just touched upon, those 3-pointers. We need to hit 1 or 2 of those to get that defense to move out a little bit, spread it out so we can work the ball inside and kick it back out.
Really packing it in. Now working. Guard swings out. Barnes can't handle it. And here comes the press. Called off, I guess, by Bruce Pearl. Whatever 30 means, it means pick him up at half court, I guess.
Well, that's not a move I expected, that's for sure.
Jackson swinging down off a screen. Second bucket of the night for Jackson. 21-14.
Both underneath too, Paul.
Don't expect it. Sanders picks up the foul. Jackson is just 6'1". Played some point last year. Has made the move to the off guard. His first foul on Sanders. This will be 2-shot for Boyden. He misses the first. Coming in 71% from the free throw line. Southern Indiana 70% as a team. Lead back up to 8. 22-14. 10:42 to go. And there's the press again off the main basket. Jackson wide open from 15. Airs one out. Now back the other way. 3-on-2 numbers. Barnes trying to dribble around. A little globetrotter. Pays for it. Well, mixed up the spacing down the lane, and Marcinek getting set to check back in for IPFW.
Paul, you noticed that Cortez Barnes came down the floor that time and had a chance to go to the bucket. And Dick DeMonte told me earlier that he and his Chad Gilbert, two big guys, do not want to take it inside. And you saw him pull back out and try to feed it back inside. I thought he should have gone to the bucket there. Could have got a foul or a bucket, or both.
IPFW player with a hand on the ball while standing on the end line. Clock does not reset. 25. Lob in to Boyden. And rebounded out of there by Bond. IPFW chance to cut into the 8-point lead. Marcinek now back into the game for Jackson. And Whirling springing loose on the baseline. This is Sanders. Bond on the outside, can pass or shoot. Ball rebounded out of there. Bond going to the floor, into the stands. Yeah, that view's nice from over there. Stepped on an end line, going the other way. Southern Indiana substitution. Joel Thomas coming back in. Boyden out.
Paul, I think you and I can be glad we're not keeping the official scorebook tonight. I just think it's going to be a nightmare trying to keep track of those guys in and out.
Going to spread the floor a little bit, Southern Indiana. Double team that time. Coughed up. Gilbert comes up with it. Bond putting a body on him. And Whirling picks up the reach in. Caldwell going to the floor, splitting the double team. I don't know if he was dribbling with his chin that time or what.
To be honest with you, I'm not sure how he got away without not having to travel there.
Glidden will go to the line. 14th foul on IPFW. That's the first on Whirling. Whirling will have a seat. Glidden in. Gilbert is on the line. Chad Gilbert out of Charlestown, Indiana. I'm not sure if he was a Indiana All-Stater when he was a senior or not. I know they were, when he was a senior, they were pushing him to be a Mr. Basketball candidate. Gilbert missing them both. Guard with the rebound. Kirby picking up the foul.
And that's Kirby's second. But again, this is a completely different ball game than earlier tonight.
Who would have thought that?
Number of fouls.
Fast-paced game, the women's game. If you missed it, IPFW beat number 3 Southern Indiana 104-94. Wouldn't expect it from the Lady Dons. They're more comfortable in the half-court game. Going over the century mark for the second time in 3 games. And not a clinic right now for Southern Indiana from the free throw line, unless you are a bricklayer by trade.
3 for 6 at this point. And I think you said they're shooting over 70% for the...
Yeah, on the season, 70% coming in. How many times has IPFW been in the free throw line? I can't recall.
They have not been to the free throw line yet tonight.
Well, how about this offense? Knocked around a few times. Everybody getting a hand on it. Glidden now inside to Bond, hipping his way in. Blocked by Gilbert. Back. Bond gets it, and the foul on Thomas Higgs going to the line now for 2.
Some real scrappiness by IPFW, and that's what I think they need to do. I think they really just need to get really scrappy underneath that basket, because obviously Southern's really going to stick it inside. There you see the replay.
Blocked by Gilbert initially. Thomas getting some body. Had a clean block on Bond the second time around. And Bond missing the first. Bond shooting 70%, the magic number, I guess, coming into the game. And he puts it back down to 8, 23-15, 9:17 to go. Steal, Marcinick. Sanders got a hand on it. Marcinick spotting for the 3, can't get it. Sanders chases down, fresh shot clock. Chance for a 3 or 4 point possession for IPFW. Sanders with a spin going back. This kid has got a nice touch. He can shoot it from 18 on out. 23-17, Hostetter. This is Caldwell going baseline, beats Sanders. Kirby there, but too late.
That's Kirby's 3rd. And actually Sanders played really good defense that time. Forced him baseline, nobody there to help.
Upside Lake getting there, so Kirby will have a seat.
I should retract that statement. I'm assuming that they want to force him baseline and not allow him to come back inside. Well, he didn't play very
He's
good.
6'1". You don't expect him to go up strong on the glass like that. J.B. Showalter coming in. First time we've seen him tonight. 6'7". Blocking out nicely. And Marcinick picking the ball off the floor for the rebound. 8-point lead for Southern Indiana. 11.5 deep in the first half. This is Glidden on the outside. Hasn't shown the 3 yet from the outside. This is Bond. Bond looking inside Showalter. Bond now with 15. Marcinick going to reset. See if they spring Glidden out on the opposite side. Bond. Marcinick the assist. Now a 6-point game. Sanders good D picking up Caldwell, but Guard there for the follow.
What a rebound. What athleticism.
When Bond had nowhere to go with that.
Yeah, but as hard as he threw that, it's a good thing he dodged, because it could have come right back and hit him before it hit the ground.
Off of Gilbert. Fresh 5 now. Substitutions in for Southern Indiana. Hebner back in, number 3. Number 45, Scott Boyden. 8-point lead for Southern Indiana. 27-19. Under 8 to go. Expected a little faster pace. It is slowed down here. Marcinick now 15 on the clock. That's a 3. Askew shall receive. Needed a 3-pointer, Dan Gebhardt. Perhaps that'll loosen things up on the inside. Sanders can't cover. Hebner down with the board and the spin. Sanders might have got a piece of that. What do we have? Sanders or Showalter picking up a foul. That is team foul number 7, so it will be bonus time.
No, they actually called that on Southern Indiana.
Okay.
Number 14.
Sure, let's go the other way.
We like that.
Gilbert picking up his first foul. That's the 14th foul. So the next foul for IPFW will put Southern Indiana on the line.
You talked about that 3 down at the other end, Paul. That's even more important because Russ Marcinick took it, not known as a shooter. So actually the defense will typically sag off of him, and it's almost like 4 on 5. And If he can step up and hit one or two of those, it'll keep the defense honest.
What a tough ball player Russ Marcinek is. Had some problems last year. A friend of his, good friend from high school, was killed in a tragic case of mistaken identity. He tucked his way through that. Now he's providing leadership for the team. Good person all around. And it's back to a 3-point game for IPFW. Hasn't been this close since the 12-9 mark. Bond now on the break, 6-7, wisely pulling up. In Marcinek's hand, chance to tie. Showalter showing. Now back out to Glidden.
Ryan just hasn't found that spot yet tonight.
Hebner out of control. What do we have? IPFW reach in foul, so there will be free throws. Showalter picking up the first foul. So 6:21 on in. We'll see a replay there. USI will be on the free throw line. Jason Burkhart getting set to check in. He's had a tough year. He looks a little thinner on the screen. It's not true. Camera adds 15 pounds. Jason lost about 15 pounds, diagnosed as anemic. This IPFW team, Dan, has had some problems with players this year getting injured. Just all sorts of problems when you have a young team. Just adding on to the strain Andy Piazza's had to bear this year.
There's no doubt about that. In fact, you can see 1, 2, 3 guys sitting down there in street clothes right now that would really help this ball club a lot.
He invested some minutes early on. Some players. Injuries, redshirt years. Almost a steal. Instead, it's a foul. Harry Eady picking up the foul. It's team foul number 5. His first. Very important part of the game right now. IPFW had closed it back to 3. Now they're going to have to deal with the press the rest of the way in. Fresh bodies for Southern Indiana. IPFW has not matched them substitution for substitution. Probably not possible.
No, I don't think we have the same athletic ability across our bench that they do, available to play anyway.
And they're going 10-11 deep. Pushing foul. Burkhart establishing position. I believe that's Gilbert. And if it is, that'll be his second, team foul number 6.
You were right, Paul. This is a key point in the game. 6 minutes left to go in the first half. We cut it to 3. It's now 5. We have possession of the ball. We need to be careful with it. We need to run the offense, make them play some defense here. See if we can't get a bucket. Either get it down to 3 or possibly even 2. I'd like to see Ryan Glidden get in a little bit of a groove here and hit a 3 before halftime, so he has some confidence going into the locker room.
And it seems that Glidden, at least last Thursday, was able to get the shots off by popping out off a screen baseline instead of the top of the key. So see if they want to get him the ball out there instead. This is Marcinek now, full shot clock, 30. And they are setting screens down low. Glidden indeed does pop out. Runyon with 20 on the clock. Now out to Marcinek. Guarded by Hebner. Marcinek looking to reset. Here's Glidden now. That's a 2. And Glidden has not found the range yet. Burkhart trying to save, can't do it.
We don't keep those kind of stats up here, but Glidden has no points, so we know he's 0-4. We don't know how many he's taken, but he just hasn't found the range yet.
They call that the donut.
Well, and it looked to me like he was falling away, and almost every time it's not like he's aggressive going up towards the basket with that jump shot.
Glidden is a transfer from St. Bonaventure, a sophomore. He's been asked to fill in, do a lot of scoring since some players are out for IPFW.
Well, he was heavily recruited as a freshman in high school by senior high school by Andy Piazza, and ended up choosing St. Bonaventure. And
timeout in the action. 29-24 Southern Indiana. Timeout. 5:22 to go. We'll be back on the other side.
The college basketball season is underway for 1994-95, and the Great Lakes Valley Conference has been rated by some as the toughest of the NCAA Division II conferences. Join Coach Andy Piazza and me, Matt DeLong, to get a closer look at the IPFW team in this year's competition.
Back to Hilliard Gate Sports Center, a shot of the IPFW bench. They're trailing by 5. Dan, you just got the stats handed to you. Anything stick out?
Actually, it's pretty balanced scoring on Southern Indiana's. They got 1, 2, 3 players with 5, 1 with 4, and 1 with 6. So of their 29 points, they got 5 players with the bulk of those, all scoring equally. On the other side, both Ryan Bond and Russ Marcinek have 7, and Steve Sanders and Jackson have 4 each. So. And nobody in real foul trouble except for Kyle Kirby, who has 3.
Now, one problem that might eventuate into a larger one is Burkhart with a spin, doesn't get it. And Glidden with a big board. I was just going to mention rebounds. IPFW out-rebounded by 15 against Kentucky Wesleyan. 2 games before that, out-rebounded by 10 or more. No problem on that possession. Glidden coming out with a newfound intensity.
Well, we are being out-rebounded 15 to 10, Paul. And actually, I was going to make this comment. I know Andy Piazza was...
Guard with the offensive foul. Go ahead.
Was a little bit frustrated against Kentucky Wesleyan in the fact that he didn't think we did a good box-out job. And I saw that just a couple plays ago, we had 3 guys crashing the boards. And luckily, the ball came straight down, but we didn't box out at all.
Oh, throwaway by Runyon. Hostetter with numbers. Boyden getting a screen from Barnes, and all of a sudden it's up to 7, 33-26. 4.5 to go. Marcinek now. And it seems they do call off the press once Marcinek establishes that he is going to be able to take it up court. Jason Worland getting set to check in for IPFW. Joel Thomas, the counter, 6'1" and 6'5". Runyon outside. He wants Bond down underneath. Bond posting up low. Backing in his man in, and that's a second turnover by Runyon.
And Paul, we just make that mistake so often. We just try to force the ball where there is no opening. We don't take that one dribble step to get to a passing lane. We just force it down there, and sometimes it just doesn't work.
Coach Piazza talking to Casey Runyon there on the screen. Is that something that players instinctively will learn where a player likes the ball at? I know we hear that all the time, but I think that really does make a difference when you know another person's game. And Runyon is not used to sitting out there and tossing it down to Bond.
Plus, you got an awful lot of young guys. That's where the inexperience comes in. It's not so that they don't know how to play, because most of these guys have played for a number of years, but they haven't played with each other.
Oh, touch pass by Bond. Burkhart wastes it. Guard with a rebound. Up ahead, Hostetter finding Hebner for 2.
There's that transition game. They had 3 men on the court before we even had our second guy.
8-2 run by Southern Indiana pushes the lead up to 9, 35-26, 3:18 to go. And they will push. And it's the fresh bodies that are doing it for Southern Indiana. Whirling now, going baseline, covered up. Knocked away by Hostetter on the floor. Going to be a held ball. And it is IPFW ball.
Just trying to force it a little bit too much. Again, we've not hit that outside shot, Paul, and so they're just collapsing inside, and we just keep trying to force it down there.
1 3-pointer tonight. IPFW very good from 3-point range against Kentucky Wesleyan. Got to loosen it up from the outside.
And it doesn't even need to be 3-pointers, Paul. We take that 15, 17-footer out. Somebody's got to step up. You know, you saw Burkhart miss one a little while ago. Glidden hasn't been. Glidden's only basket is a rebound. Somebody's got to hit that short jump shot.
I think there is a little bit more difference between Kentucky Wesleyan and second time we've seen IPFW have to resort to throwing the ball off a Southern Indiana player. There's a little bit of difference between number 5 and number 9. Kentucky Wesleyan, number 9 in the Division II poll. They are not nearly as quick or athletic as this Southern Indiana team.
Nor as deep. They went about 6 or 7. This team can go, looks like 10 or 12.
And that's the danger point. IPFW was down in that game many times against Kentucky Wesleyan. Burkhart off the inbound. Someone wake up. But many times they were down by 12 or 14, able to get it back to 5 or 6. Maybe not against this Southern Indiana team with the fresh bodies. Guard fouled by Jackson.
No, I think that's a real good point, Paul. Screaming Eagle team almost looks like it can score whenever it wants to.
And Guard going to the line. He's going to score anytime he wants on Jeff Jackson. Another look at it. Stop and go, put the ball on the floor. So 1-1. That's only the 8th foul on IPFW. Southern Indiana yet to give up the bonus, so they only have 6 fouls with 2:52 to go. How about Guard? He was named preseason first-team All-American by College Sports Magazine. And he's not really forcing it tonight. He's letting it come to him.
No, he's only got 8 points, and typically a high scorer with only 8 points is going to try to shoot a lot more. He's really not. He's just kind of content to get his points as they come to him. He knows he's going to get his shots, and so he waits.
Anytime I say a cliche, Dan, you can just jump in and just point it out to the folks at home. Letting it come to him. Well, it's starting to come a little easier for Southern Indiana, 37-28. It was 27-24 at one point. And the bailout now, IPFW going to the line, finally break into the bonus. First foul on Hostetter. Shot of Andy Piazza, 8th season here at IPFW. 3 20-game winning seasons. 20-game winning seasons. 20-game winning seasons, I guess, in his first 5 years here. Tough year last year. See, the blocks are in place, though. Years to come.
I really like this freshman class, and I think with the
it's solid.
With the sophomores and the junior Casey Runyon coming back, and I just think this could be a really good ball club next year.
Whirling gets the second. That's the second. 37-30 off the 1-1. Guard loses control. Burkhart. Oh, he's going to put it on the floor. Wisely gives it up to Marcinick. Pulls up. This is Bond. Thinks better of the 3. Marcinick unloading. And rebounded out of there by Thomas. And Southern Indiana, Guard was releasing. Marcinick kicking away.
That was a good transition by Russ Marcinick and Jason Whirling, and it looked like Jason Burkhart also hustling back.
Redirecting. Does Russ play a little soccer on the side?
I don't think so, but it sure looked like he had a pretty good leg there.
37-30, 2:30 to go. Guard inside. Burkhart failing to cover up. Late in fronting him. And Guard will be back at the free throw line. Just going down his resume, here's another look at Guard. Burkhart again late. IPFW does like to front down in the low post. He was indeed named the Elite 8 Most Outstanding Player and the CBS Chevrolet Most Outstanding Player in the championship game. Early in the season, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but wasn't the Great Lakes Valley Conference ranked the toughest conference in Division II?
That's historically been true, Paul. I don't know that I actually saw anything this year, but I know that in the past few years they've done polls like that, looking at competition and winning records against opponents. And the Great Lakes Valley has been historically the toughest conference.
Well, they went against Cal State Bakersfield, lost by 6 points last year, lost a couple of key players.
Well, and this year, Paul, right now we've got 3 teams from the conference men's rated in the top 20.
Right. How do you like this weekend? Number 9 and then number 5. Jackson from 18 hitting. Big bucket by Jackson. Haven't seen that touch from the outside. 38-32. 6 points. Caldwell trying a 3. Doesn't get it. And Jackson down with the board. Looking to push with 2 minutes to go. This is Whirling for 3. Thinks better of it. Knocked out of bounds. IPFW with 28 on the clock. Substitution, Brian Hebner coming back in. Mark Hostetter. Scratch that. Kevin Caldwell will come out. And back into the game. Scott Boyden. Joel Thomas will have a seat. And no time off the clock, and we'll have free throws for IPFW.
That was a good cut by Jason Whirling. Cut right right down the lane. Forced the foul.
What do you think of Worling? He's really come on. I mean, I remember watching him play last year at Woodland High School, and the difference he's made this year, it's pretty amazing. It's been a big leap for him.
I'm really impressed with him. I think he's got just a lot of, I think he's one of those athletes that doesn't like to lose. He's going to do anything he can to keep his team from losing, and he's just going to work his tail off the whole game. And I think he's got a nice shooting touch. I don't expect him ever to be a 20-point a game scorer, but I expect him to hit, a shot now and then. It's going to keep the defense on him.
Well, he missed the free throw instead. Bond and one. How about that? Russ Marcinek give him the assist because he comes out of there with a rebound. Jackson with a look inside and Bond with a finish. And a chance to get it back to three. This is as close as IPFW has been since 27-24. And Kevin Caldwell, well, that was 6-second rest on the clock anyway. He's back in the contest. Bond connecting for the three-point play, and it's a three-point lead. Double team. Jackson gets a hand on it again, and this time got a little bit Scott Boyden's hand.
It's really difficult to reach around from behind, and I know players often think they get all ball, but you reach around and that official thinks you got him with a body no matter whether you got it clean or not.
Is the official called the actual slap? We can hear the hand different than
sometimes
than
they do,
the
and sometimes again they and in reality that has to happen. I mean, for you to reach around somebody, there you see the play. Jeff Jackson, you can't tell whether he actually hit the hand or not, but reaching around like that's just a real dangerous play.
And it's almost an automatic. I mean, the official is there and he sees that. He thinks there's no way. Here's another look. Extended view. Two shot, though. That is IPFW's 10th foul. Second on Jackson. Boyden will have the second. Hit the first. Can push it to 5. And he does. 40-35. 1:52 to go. So IPFW hanging around. It's up 9 points. Got the lead back down to 3. Marcinek running some clock. Inside, this is Worling now. Worling going to the basket and fouled. Well, extending the challenge to Cortez Barnes. Being up 5 inches off the dribble, and Worling going back to the free throw line.
And that's exactly what we talked about. There you see him going right inside, not afraid to take it inside. This kid's going to do whatever it takes to win. I believe that.
Switched hands, too. Was going to put it up with the left hand.
And in fact, Paul, he may have to take over that point position from Russ Marcinek for next year. Although T.J. Holloway, who's injured, could also move into that spot. So.
And which hand did T.J. break? I'm not sure exactly.
I'm not sure either.
I believe it was his right hand. He was getting some time invested in him for next year. Heavy amount of time. To lose him, that really hurt Andy Piazza. Hurts any time you lose a player out there getting a lot of minutes in chemistry. This team is starting to develop a little chemistry this weekend. Had 2 poor games last weekend against Lewis and St. Joe. And what do we have? A turnover almost. Campbell with a globetrotter dribble ahead to Hebner for the bucket. Puts him up by 5. Now 42-37, 1:20 to go. Campbell didn't think much of that debris on the floor. This is Burkhart now, 18 on the clock. Going to get close to a 5-second count.
Not close, it is.
This is Caldwell with the ball. Guard, lob pass, and 2. It's that simple. Just get him the ball around the rim. He'll put it up there.
Boy, what athleticism. He went up for that ball, came right down, went straight back up.
Stop and go by Marcinek. Now has Burkhart. Guarded by Boyden. Backs him down, and the turnaround hook. 5-point lead again. 44-39. 32 seconds.
Shot clock is off.
Hebner doesn't see it, and Bond out of there with a steal. Has numbers, running the point, ahead to Whirling for 2. Quickly back the other way. This is Guard on the baseball patch, and Burkhart with a foul. Burkhart wisely walking away, thought the official was going to tag him with an intentional. That's the problem, a 3-on-1. IPFW not able to get back, and it is a two-shot foul.
I'll tell you what, Paul, I understand the feelings from Southern Indiana's point of view, but that same thing happened in the women's game on the other end of the court, and the officials are just real hesitant to call that intentional foul. If you make it look like you're going to go for a block, they're probably not going to call the intentional foul.
Well, Guard did hit the floor, but I don't think, I mean, he wasn't that far up in the air. Burkhart got a hold of the arms, gave a pretty healthy whack, but that one really was a borderline. That was a borderline, and I also sense the tone. Maybe the next time a foul like that occurs, it could be an intentional in the official's mind. The difference is IPFW will get the ball back with 13 seconds left. Guard missing the second. Glidden out of there with a board. Chance to cut to 2 or 1. Marcinick now over the timeline, 8 seconds. Guard the step out. Marcinick dribbling. Double team. Finds Burkhart. That's a 3. No. Whirling, the tip almost went in.
What a athletic move by Jason Burkhart. Left-handed tip falling away, and it almost went in. But I'll tell you what, Paul, at 6 minutes, you and I said this was an important stretch for IPFW. And I don't remember exactly what we were
29-24 was the score, and IPFW was dealing with the press at that time, and it looked like Southern Indiana was going to start to put a spurt on. Never came. IPFW stayed with him. Basket to basket. 45-41 your score at halftime. We'll be back after halftime.
Hello, I'm Arnie Ball. And I'm Tim Heflin. Watch us every Friday evening at 7 p.m. for IPFW Volleyball Highlights. We'll also describe strategies and fundamentals for all you new volleyball fans. We may even invite a Volleyball or two to join us on the show, so tune in to us every Friday night at 7 p.m. here on Channel 6.
Check it out! The campus has it all. Learn it, or work it, or play it, just do it. It's a cool place. Call now! Go to work, go to school, go ahead.
Communication, a fundamental right basic to all human existence. It's a powerful interactive force. It can be the joyful sharing or exchanging of ideas. It can be used to create understanding, to persuade or seek information. Communication can foster friction between individuals, but it can also foster love. However, if communication breaks down, the results can be devastating. And contrary to popular belief, no one is safe from a communication disorder. Speech, language, hearing disorders can occur in any age, gender, race, or socioeconomic group. Speech-language hearing disorders may occur because of birth defects, cleft palate, cerebral palsy, mental retardation, deafness, developmental delay, learning disabilities, mental retardation, poor language models, disease, chronic allergy or colds, cancer, stroke, Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, trauma and aging, head injury, voice abuse, yelling, noise pollution. Birth defects, developmental delay, disease, trauma, and aging may result in communication breakdown with delayed language, stuttering, hearing loss, misarticulations, voice disorders, aphasia. For the 1 of 10 persons in our country who have communication disorders, there is hope. Communication can be improved through speech-language therapy and hearing rehabilitation. Communication is a fundamental right. No one should be denied the use of the right to communicate. Jay was always a hard-working business professional, top in his division. His wife Lois had just been offered a partnership in the agency. They were very happy and success was at their doorstep. But the accident changed all that. Brain injury left Jay unable to communicate. He could understand what was said to him, but he couldn't tell others what he wanted. The neurologist told Lois to expect difficulty in communicating with her husband, but she felt totally cut off from him. Their lives were disrupted. Nothing was right, and for the first time, they were afraid. Their physician referred them to the speech-language pathologist at the hospital. After testing to determine his strengths and weaknesses, the clinician structured a rehabilitation program specifically for Jay. The speech-language pathologist showed Lois techniques to help improve their interpersonal communication. With speech and language therapy, Jay improved in his ability to communicate. Hard work, a lot of effort and time were necessary, but Jay began to interact. With family support and speech-language therapy, Jay is regaining his right to communicate. Jenny doesn't understand what Richie is saying. His voice sounds muffled to her, and she doesn't understand that waiting will result in her having the next turn. Richie doesn't understand exactly what Jenny is saying. Her voice sounds funny. She is still in the process of developing clear speech due to her hearing loss. When Jenny was a baby, her parents noticed that she was not responding to noises. They were afraid she couldn't hear. Her parents consulted their physician and were referred to an audiologist at the local speech and hearing center. The audiologist was able to determine that Jenny had a hearing loss. She was fitted with hearing aids so she could hear the sounds around her. Currently, Jenny is seen regularly by the audiologist for follow-up testing to make sure her hearing aid is working properly. In addition, she participates in speech-language therapy. Early identification of hearing loss is critical to developing good speech and language, and Jenny, with the use of a hearing aid and regular therapy, has an excellent chance to communicate effectively. When Bobby was in the 2nd grade, his speech was so disfluent he could not express himself easily. It seemed to his parents that Bobby was starting to avoid talking to people, even family and close friends. No one else in the family stuttered, and his parents hoped he would still outgrow his speech problem. While in school, Bobby's classroom teacher noticed his disfluency and referred him to the school's speech-language pathologist. The pathologist also talked with Bobby's parents. She helped them better understand Bobby's stuttering and suggested ways to help him communicate more easily. Currently, Bobby is enrolled in the speech therapy program at his school. He is one of the many children with various communication problems who receive therapy for speech, language, and hearing disorders. There is improvement in Bobby's speech. At last, he is beginning to know the joy of communicating. Mrs. Stewart needed directions to the meeting room. It was noisy, and she really couldn't understand. Instead of asking the receptionist to repeat the directions, Mrs. Stewart went on her way searching for the meeting room. It was embarrassing that she could not clearly hear the directions, but she did wish people wouldn't mutter. Actually, Mrs. Stewart has a hearing loss that has been gradually getting worse during the last few years. Often, the person with a progressive hearing loss is unaware that messages are not spoken clearly. After experiencing a number of similar incidents, Mrs. Stewart took advantage of the free community hearing screening, and it was confirmed that she had a hearing loss. She was evaluated by an audiologist and fitted with a hearing aid. There was a period of adjustment. After all, she was hearing sounds that she had not heard for a long time. She began to understand speech better than before because of her hearing aid. There was an improvement in the quality of her life, and she began to interact with others. Regular visits to the audiologist to check her hearing aid will help ensure continued success in hearing others. Communication is an important basic right, yet you or a member of your family may be deprived of that right because of speech, language, or hearing disorders. Early detection of such difficulties is vital to a proper program of rehabilitation. Evaluations of speech, language, and hearing problems, combined with properly planned therapy, are available to you and those you love. For school-age children, contact the speech-language pathologist in your area school. For non-school-age children and for adults, help is available through rehabilitation centers, hospitals, community clinics, private practitioners, or university speech and hearing centers. Don't delay. Seek help now, because communication is your right. Break down the barriers that keep you from leading a fuller life. Speech is worth hearing.
Welcome back to the Harry Gates Sports Center. There, as you see on the clock, 3:50 to go in between halves. 45-41, IPFW trailing number 5, Southern Indiana, first half. And Dan had the stats here. Well, things that pop out in my mind running them down. IPFW just 1 of 9 from three-point range. Ryan Glidden only 2 points yet. IPFW only 4 down.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. And I think the other one that stands out to me is that Southern Indiana shot 61.5% from the field. We only shot 47% from the field, and yet, as you said, we're only 4 points down. So you look at the other end of the stat sheet and you say, what's the cause? Well, Southern Indiana has 12 turnovers compared to 9 for IPFW, and we have 7 steals as compared to 5 for them. So that's 5 more possessions we had than they did just off of that. So that's important. Again, I really think that not necessarily the three-point shot, but somebody's got to step up. Jeff Jackson hit one. Russ Marcinek hit a three-pointer. We got to have somebody step outside and hit a couple outside shots just to loosen up that defense inside. Right now we're trying to force it downside, and we've been as successful as I think we could expect.
Right. Ryan Glidden is only 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point shooting range, not expected. Another stat that sticks out, Southern Indiana not taking advantage of the free throws when they have a chance. They are only 11 of 19 from the line, 15 feet, so they're shooting better from the field. Of course, they do have a lot of transition buckets.
Yeah, and on top of that, on the other side of that statistic is that IPFW only gave up 19 foul shots. usually we have about 20 fouls by halftime, and we really have nobody other than Kyle Kirby in foul trouble at halftime here. In fact, we got 3 or 4 of our key players with no fouls.
And that has been one thing among many that has been going wrong for IPFW the last 3 games in their 3-game losing streak. The other team is getting more foul shots and more rebounds. IPFW working the boards a little better tonight. 18-15, the advantage for Southern Indiana.
Well, I mentioned this during the first half, Paul. I think the reason we're rebounding tonight is, again, not so much that we have a better technique than we did against Kentucky Wesleyan. It's just that I think that Southern Indiana is relying on its athleticism. And so you don't need to work so hard to get position because you're going to get your fair bounces as they go. Against Kentucky Wesleyan, who I thought was pretty technically skilled in rebounding, we really needed to work hard and box out. I made a comment. I saw 3 of our players go directly to the boards on a shot. You can't do that. You got to find a player and keep away from the boards if you're going to be successful on rebounding as opposed to team.
Well, while we have this chance just a minute to go in halftime, I want to get you up to date on the first game that happened here. Number 3, Southern Indiana, coming in after their first loss of the season to Ashland Thursday night. Mark it down, number 2 in a row. They lost to IPFW, the Lady Dons, 104-94 winners. And a couple of records tied. One nearly tied by Leanne Freeland of Southern Indiana. 50 points in the game. The all-time Great Lakes Valley Conference record is 51. She came very close, and that's a career high. She had 46 against Ashland. A little way to back it up.
Average is 48 for the weekend, so that's
well, do you vote on who the player of the week is?
Actually, that's done by the SIDs who report the scores at the end of the week. Nominate players, and then actually the conference SID is the one that actually selects that player. And I got to believe that even though with 2 losses, she'll rank up there with coming close to tying that record, and also kind of offensive. And again, she was more than just a scorer. She played a great defensive game. She got a lot of rebounds. She was just an outstanding player. Some other important stats there. Lindy Jones scored 40 points.
40, that's right.
That's a pretty amazing game.
Tied a school record. Lisa Miller had 40 against the University of Indianapolis. And
then Leah Sheets set personal
23
rebounds and points.
23 points, the freshman from Columbia City. And 12 rebounds. And we were talking off the air. One thing that was amazing, Wendy Recker, I don't have the final assist total on her, I believe it was 14 or 15. Lindy Jones and Leah Sheets all played 40 minutes.
And that's amazing because you and I both saw Ashland game the other night. They played about 36 or 38 each, I think, and come back and play 42 2 days later with that kind of a game. It's not just...
Oh, it was up and down. 104 points, you're not getting a break. So a big win for the Lady Dons tonight. The 4-5 in the conference, getting back in the conference race after losing 4 early. And we're underway in the second half. Run down the lineups for you on the floor. This is Guard with the ball. Inside, cue the assist. Scott Boyden with the basket. And we're off and running again. No press on the made basket. For IPFW, Dane Adams, number 41 on the low post. Russ Marshnick with the ball. Jason Whirling, Ryan Glidden, and Ryan Bond in the game. This is Bond with the ball. Being checked. Cortez Barnes. 15 on the clock. Jason Whirling over to Marshnick. Bond flashing. Marshnick doesn't get him the ball. Now 10 on the clock. Still looking for Bond. Bond posting up. And how about that? 6 seconds on the clock. Kick and a reset. Thank you very much.
We appreciate that.
Barnes with the kick. Glidden will trigger. IPFW having trouble with the inbounds play. Glidden does get it into Bond. Bond on the dribble. Driving for the layup. How about that? 25 feet on in.
That was a great play. Bond was leading IPFW scoring at halftime with 10, so that gives him 12.
Went to his left. Puts it back to a 4-point. And then Bond with a reach around on Guard.
The euphoria of that driving basket carried over to the defensive end, I think.
He was looking to do it again, I believe.
Only this time from 75 feet.
Yes.
25.
I wonder if he has that same enthusiasm from 75 feet in practice. Ooh, Marshnick with a strip. 1-on-1. Hostetter is back. Feeds ahead. Clinton filling the lane for 2. And this is as close as IPFW has been since the onset. The onset or the outset.
Hebner missing from 3, and IPFW a chance to tie or take the lead. This is Glidden, a spot up 3. Bring it!
That's what we were looking for, Paul.
Boy, Glidden has come out 5 straight points for Glidden, a 48-47 lead at the 18-22 mark. And a blocking foul. No!
He calls a charge. That's what I
It is going the other way.
He was clearly set. I couldn't believe it. Didn't look like he put his hand behind his head ever, but I thought he put it.
He never did. Adams picking up the charge.
You know what it might have been? It might have been a case of he had already let go of the ball, so it truly wasn't a charge.
Okay. Second foul on Cortez Barnes.
I'll tell you what, Paul, this is a great way to come out for IPFW. They gave up the first 2 points, and they scored the next 6.
How's this for a cliche as you see Southern Indiana coach? Oh, stolen away by Guard. Whoa! Good thing for Glidden to get in the picture there. That'll make a nice poster.
And have a pretty good athletic ability there.
Oh.
We got to see that replay. We hope we got that on replay here. We can get a break.
Tomahawk one-hander.
Well, he had to go. He had to fly 12 feet through the air, didn't he?
And he was leaning horizontal. Bond now on the dribble. Southern Indiana retaking the lead. This is Adams in the lane. Glidden spotting up for 3. That's Winnie Shedley.
He may have found his spot.
I think so. The spot up is a little better for Glidden. 8 straight points for Glidden. And IPFW out to a 2-point lead now, 51-49. Hostetter now on the ball. This is Guard. Jack Gilbert in the game. Hebner on the drive. Kick out. Hostetter. No shot. And a travel on Hostetter, juggling the feet.
I didn't see it, but the official clearly blew his whistle before the shot. So Southern Indiana's going to take a timeout to talk about it here.
Timeout, a 10-4 run by IPFW. Ryan Bond limping off. Hope that's not the right ankle he flipped a couple of weeks ago. Jason Burkhart checking into the game. And how's this for the cliche? I haven't got to use it yet. First 5 minutes of the second half.
That's a pretty big one, but I'll tell you what, I think there's an awful lot of truth to that because just you can come out and you can play like balls of fire. You really carry that over for the next 15 minutes, or you can come out and let the other team really take charge. And it's so hard to dig out of that hole after. We saw a little bit of that in the first game ball. IPFW had picked up nearly a 20-point lead early in the first half, and let Southern Indiana cut it back to I think it was 9 at halftime, and come out and take the lead early in the second half. And at that point, you can roll over and play dead, particularly with the amount of minutes those kids were playing, but they didn't. They really stuck with it. But that doesn't happen very often. If you let a team crawling back in a ballgame like that, particularly right at the beginning of the second half, it's difficult to get your legs back underneath.
Well, the thing is, IPFW did not have to expend a lot of energy to work their way back into this. They were never down 18 as Southern Indiana in the women's game was against IPFW. And to come out here and put it on them right, in the first 2 minutes, there's only 2:43 going by. Ryan Bond now stretching out between the break. He is going to take a seat on the bench.
But he looks like he's walking a little bit better than he did when he walked over to the huddle. So hopefully it's just a little bit of a twinge when you twist your ankle.
I don't know. It might have been, and I hesitate to say this because obviously I'm not a doctor and I play one on TV if I'm going to do this. But he might have pulled a groin muscle. He's stretching out the inside of his thighs. Not sure. Try and get a chase down on that. He's whirling dribbles.
Looks like Southern's going to try to pick up the half-court pressure a little bit here. Pressure the guards so they can't get that cross-court pass.
Whirling, dribbling on the end line. Sideline Hebner now with the ball. 51-49, just under 17 to go. Cortez Barnes back in the game. Now this is Gilbert. Outside, Hostetter. Working clock this time down the floor.
This one, a few times they've done that, Paul.
Well, they
get a shot within the first 10 or 15 seconds.
Now they've got it right. They moved Barnes, or Boyden rather, down in the low post. Barnes out of there with a board. They had Gilbert down there earlier. And Glidden out of there with a board. Marcinek looking to push the pull-up. Nobody there. Whirling for the rebound. Kicks it back out. Glidden spotting one more time. In and out, Hebner coming down there with the board. Releasing quickly, Boyden whirling, got away with a foul and a push. And Southern Indiana will have the ball.
Actually, the last 2 times on the court, I thought there was an awful lot of bumping and banging going on underneath the board for not calling that.
Well, Boyden was on his way going out of bounds. He's 215. Jason Whirling, a generous listing of 175, put a hand on the back, and Boyden falling right out of bounds. And he's out of the game right now, as Stan Guard is as well. Pace of this game has picked up. Joel Thomas in for Southern Indiana with the ball. Over to Gilbert. Hebner spotting up and driving lane. Ties the game at 51. And now here's the pressure. Marcinek beating it. Ahead to Whirling, a 2-on-1. Whirling pulling up 4-3. And Thomas down with the board.
That's critical. That was a critical play right there.
Coming back, Burkhart quickly Whirling there. Adams picking up the foul. And you can see Southern Indiana in that mode. Reversing it back up the court. The transition game has been effective for them tonight.
But IPFW's doing a pretty good job of getting back. And not 5-on-5, but they're getting back and they're creating enough havoc back there that Southern's not getting easy layup. We saw that jam by Gerard, but other than that.
Now the substitutions coming in for IPFW. This pace, the first 4.5 minutes, the second half, very fast. Glidden out, Dane Adams out, Jeff Jackson in, Kyle Kirby in, Steve Sanders also in. Expect Glidden's break on the bench to be rather brief. Gilbert hits the first. 8 straight points for Glidden in the second half. Kirby with the board. 52-51, Southern Indiana. Now Marcinek. Glidden has 10 in the game now. Marcinek on the bounce inside. Kirby left alone. Off the glass and home.
That was quick up by Kirby. He needed to do that because they were making a defensive adjustment that they would have blocked that shot had he waited and hesitated any longer.
Barnes hit one of those early in the first half. He's now 2 of 4 from three-point range, and the throwaway by Burkhart. Thomas retrieves. Larry Eddy with the ball. Over to Kevin Caldwell. Back to Eddy. 55-53, Southern Indiana. 15 to go. Gilbert. Inside the lob, thrown away. Sanders out of there with a steal. Now up ahead to Marcinek. IPFW trying to transition with Southern Indiana. Jackson with a double pump. And Ryan Bond getting set to check back in. Jason Burkhart will come out.
That's Gilbert's third foul.
Let's take a look and see how many points Gilbert has. He has 5 total points. Is that right? No, 0.
No, he doesn't have any points.
No, he hasn't been exactly heating it up, let's say. There's another look.
Foul, yep.
Double pump. Jackson is a sophomore out of Elkhart Central, I believe. 6'1". Has a different rotation on the ball. Leaves his hand differently.
Well, earlier we saw Wendy Record doesn't have any rotation on the ball.
Sort of a slider delivery from 15 feet for Jackson. Gets them both 55-55. Eddy with the ball. Kirby picking him up. Kirby has 3 fouls. Eddy gets away with a walk. Kirby out of there with the board. And Marcinek keeps pushing. Sanders ahead. Has a lane. Daylight closed off. Missing. Getting his rebound. Bond there for the follow. Held ball. Bond was sitting on the weak side. Could have wrapped it around.
Yeah, I think there were 2 guys there, though. I don't think Steve could see Ryan, but you're right. If he could have wrapped it around, it would have been easy, too.
Right now, IPFW will look to Sanders to score some. Jackson with the ball. 30 on the clock. Plenty of time. Tied at 55. Sanders from 18. Mark Hill.
You know, if you've noticed, Paul, we've now stepped up and hit a couple of those outside shots. You know, Lid's hitting the 2 threes.
Well, they've had Guard on the bench for 3 minutes now. And when they throw him back in there, look out. He's instant offense. Had the ball. That's an automatic. Inside Thomas. Inside the dish. Caldwell fouled by Jackson. No call. Saved by Kirby. Marcinek now trying to push. Will spot up. Jackson off the dribble. Glassing, missing. Sanders trying to get the board. Cortez Barnes out of there with it. And here we come. Stan Guar coming in. It's Brian Hebner as well. From the outside, Barnes. Second three in the second half. And it's 58-57. Caldwell with the steal. Saved by Gilbert. Barnes there. Sanders fouls. And IPFW tired right now.
I was just going to say that. It looks like we're a little fatigued. And when you get fatigued, you don't think straight. You make those little silly mistakes.
And that was definitely a reach in over the back tired foul by Sanders. Here's another look at it. Gilbert with a save. A steal by Caldwell. It's one of those fouls. Barnes could have put that one home. Instead, he would be on the line for two shots. That's the first. What? Correct. Dan Gephardt, when you say he played at Tennessee, so nice to have D1 transfers. IPFW has one in Ryan Glidden. IPFW again having trouble. Bible and Guhard. The assist from Bond. And the second straight turnover. Marcinek, the ball dribbling out of bounds.
And Cortez Barnes had seen that play twice and wasn't going to see it again, so he just did a jumping jack.
7-0 run. Southern Indiana on top, 62-57. We'll be right back.
First-year IPFW women's basketball coach Pam Bowden is enjoying a fine preseason after coming to IPFW from the University of Alaska Anchorage. She has inherited a club which returns no seniors but still enjoys one of the top ratings in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. We want you to tune in every Wednesday at 7:30 to find out more information about the IPFW women's basketball team all season long.
There's a shot, the Southern Indiana bench. 7-0 run, 62-57 during the break there, Dan. Well, I'm talking about the spurt that might happen here.
And also, I think that IPFW has not handled the pressure real well the last 2 or 3 possessions down the court. I thought they did a really nice job in the first half, and I thought they started to here in the second half. The last 3 possessions just made a couple of stupid turnovers and allowed Southern Indiana to score some easy points.
A lot of these substitutions in the game, and IPFW had a different person than Brian Bond taking the ball out of bounds. Casey Runyon in the game. Kyle Kirby in the game. Jeff Jackson, Russ Marcinek, Steve Sanders. Southern Indiana, this is the wrecking crew they started out with. Guhard, Hebner, Barnes, and Boyd. This is Barnes now, and Larry Eddy. Boyden outside. This is Hebner. Fan taking the three. Guhard backing down. What do we have? A hold on Jackson. And I have to believe that that's the matchup Southern Indiana would like to see.
Well, you see Guhard get the ball down there, and he's going to take it to the bucket if he gets it in the paint.
Guhard is 6'5" junior. Named as a potential first-team All-American in Division II this year. That guy Barnes hitting from 10. And here's the press again. DC running baseline, gets it into Jackson. Immediate double team, Jackson in trouble. 6 seconds to get it over half court. And it's a 9-0 run for Southern Indiana. It was 57-55 IPFW.
I'm not sure they were having so much effect with that press. I'm not sure why they took it off there on the inbound pass on the side.
Jackson now. Over to Sanders, spotting from 17.
Steve Asper right there.
And he's just a freshman. He has got a lot of offensive skills. Kirby with a step around. Stolen away. Marshnick now. Inside, Kirby guarded. Blocked out of bounds.
I'll tell you what, Southern Indiana is just loaded with athletes. I recall very few fouls underneath the basket and a number of block shots.
Ejection by Boyden. 27 on the clock. Marshnick will trigger. Barnes gets a hand on it. What do we have? A foul on the floor before the shot. It's going against Southern Indiana. And Scott Boyden picks up the foul. Team foul number 3, his second. And Sanders will inbound. This is dangerous for IBFW. Jackson spinning loose. Hebner rubbed off, or Hostetter rather, rubbed off on a screen. And now it's a three-point game. Was 9 at one point, and a turnover, Southern Indiana. So how about that? IBFW just keeps coming back. Will not fold.
Southern got the press back on. I was just going to say Glidden hadn't been in the game for a while. You need to get him back in and get a shot or two, although Jeff Jackson was coming in for it. Just played a couple of great minutes there.
Jackson wanted to blow. Glidden had been out for 4 minutes. Runyon with a baseball pass. Screen set by Kirby. Sanders with a layup.
I think that was a set play call, but that was a pretty fancy set play.
You got to believe Runyon. I hope he played a little baseball in high school. Otherwise, it was really a chancy play. 1 point lead for Southern Indiana. 11:20 to go on the clock. Guard. Stop and go. Switching hands. Beating the press this time. Marshnick down. Southern Indiana back. Marshnick now. Kirby on the baseline. Going to reset out top. Try and swing Sanders loose along the baseline. He's covered up by Guard. Marshnick now driving the lane. Getting the shot off. You can see Southern Indiana concentrating on Sanders. Back down to a 1 point lead. This is Barnes from downtown. Boyden with the rebound. I imagine that's the type of shot IPFW wouldn't mind giving up
All night long.
Guard now. This is one guy they don't want getting the ball. Foul on the floor. What do we have? 3 seconds.
One extra dribble and the other offensive player wasn't ready to move.
Scott Boyden with a violation. Jason Whirling. Haven't seen much of him in the second half.
No, but he's giving Marshnick a blow. Marshnick's played about 9.5 great minutes here. Just done a really nice job handling the ball, scored a basket.
This is indeed Whirling's first action in the second half. IPFW a chance to regain the lead now, down by 1, 26 to go on the clock. Kirby out high. Gilbert getting a hand on it. Glidden with a tip back to Kirby outside. Whirling thinks better of the 3, 23 on the clock. Sanders with a pump fake twice. Guard up. Sanders drawing iron. And Guard out of there with the board.
Not sure that was the appropriate shot you wanted at that point in time.
Guard might have got away with the travel there. Man, that guy is tough. I think the only way you could stop him from getting a shot off is you have Jason Burkhardt in there taking away both arms at the same time.
Foul on Runyon.
His first, team foul number 5. Southern Indiana got into the bonus in the first half. 19 times free throw line in the first half as well. Only 8 for IPFW. Guard, left hand. He is left-handed. Still a pretty move. Glidden with a push-off, gets away with it. Now behind the back, dangerous dribble outside Sanders. Guard getting a hand on Sanders. He is all over the place. Sanders in trouble, releases. And Kirby can't hold on to it. Turnover, IPFW.
Again, I think we're just going a little bit too fast, Paul. I think we need to slow down. You know, there's 35 seconds on that shot clock, and we need to use 30 of them.
And there you go. Russ Marshnick going to calm the team down. Jason Whirling gave him a minute's worth of rest. Try and find out what the deal is with Brian Bond. Came out really well in the second half. Appeared to have pulled a muscle. He's been in and out. Glidden with the board and the foul on Gilbert. Is that number 4 on him?
I believe that's number 4.
Well, he hasn't done any damage other than being a big body.
No, he's only scored one point, which is a surprise. But you're right, he is a big body. So that's. But again, I'm not sure that's a help because they got some big bodies sitting on that bench too.
Fourth foul on Southern Indiana. Joel Thomas coming in for Gilbert. 9:24 to go. It's been a good test for Southern Indiana. Wouldn't expect 5 and 12, and there's the baseball pass again. Home run broken up by Hostetter.
That was not as good a pick, and it was a lot more chancy. I'm not sure if Andy Piazza wants to do that all night long.
No, that was a little bit more of a lob pass. That was a shallow fly. That's actually Sleeger. Whatever. Clinton now with the ball. 30 on the clock, looking for Kirby down low, step around. And Dan, you know about that down in the low post. You put a hand, you wrap it around that man. Automatic.
We talked about it before. That's right. It's almost automatic. I believe that's 4. I got 4 on Boyd too, but the scoreboard only shows 3, so I'm not sure if I'm right or. Oh, nice move by Kirby.
How about that? The freshman from Marion going strong to the glass after Boyden served up a rejection just a couple of minutes ago. And it's a 1-point game. IPFW just keeps hanging around. And frankly, I didn't expect this team to show so much resolve, and that's a big foul. 4th on Kirby.
Well, actually, Paul, I think if you look at the games 2 weeks ago, Indianapolis and Northern Kentucky, that they won.
Oh, yeah.
And then we didn't see him play on the road last week, but they came back and played real tough against Kentucky Wesleyan. I think I expected him to be close. I'm not sure I expected it to be a 1-pointer with 9 minutes left to go in the game. But again, this is the kind of game, if you stay close, anything can happen in the game.
Well, the thing is, I think there were so many times in this game and against Kentucky Wesleyan on Thursday that IPFW had chances to pack it in. I mean, they were down 12 points. It's down 9 points in this game. Ooh, inbounds pass. Barnes cannot convert. Misses the Stone Cripple. And this is
above the rim on that, too.
And Glidden throwing away. Kirby chasing it down, and that's going to be an over and back unless Marcinek gets a hand on it wisely.
See, Glidden does that a lot. I'm not sure what he does. He gets himself in a position where he doesn't have any choice but to make a pass, and oftentimes it's not a good pass.
Right, that is Glidden's fault. Turnover. IPFW. Southern Indiana now. Another chance to push the lead up to 3, possibly 4. Haven't seen a lot of the three-pointer tonight, and they come in here averaging 15-plus a game. How about that three-pointer missing? Sanders fighting for the board. Ahead to Glidden. Now Glidden tackled by Caldwell. 1st and 10 going the other way.
I'm not sure how they can not call a foul on that ball. Well, the guy is standing right there.
I think maybe had the ball gone off of Glidden, perhaps he would have had the foul called. Guard back in the game.
Believe me, I know how difficult it is to be an official, but there are some things I think you just have to.
Boy, that has been tough for IPFW, just getting the ball on the court.
There you go. All night long, you've had 5 good athletes on the court for USI, and they're playing just good defense.
Again, IPFW a chance to take the lead. Trailing by 1, 68-67, 8:20 to go on the big clock. Marcinek dribbling with his chin that time. Flat out on the floor, cannot reach it. This could be. Whoa. Dunked by Scott Boyden. Page out of Southern Indiana's book. Kirby has 4 fouls. He has to be careful. Reverse. Pretty move by Caldwell. And this is about as up and down as it gets. Sanders quickly back the other way. Spinning. Kirby saves. Rebounded out of there. Tipped to Marcinek. Rebound. Clinton missing for 3. Runyon with a weak side rebound. Rejection. Stan Guard. Gonna take a break here, catch our breath.
USI bringing in almost a whole new team. 3 or 4 substitutions there.
Joel Thomas in, Chad Gilbert in, Larry Eddy in.
That was a great defensive play by Guard.
And Guard has gotten a lot of minutes on the bench this half. A luxury IPFW cannot have. Sanders open for three. Tangled up in blue, the net. And that ties the game. 72 apiece, 7:22 to go. Gilbert, that's over and back. And that's where the ball is at, not the player.
Just good defensive pressure by IPFW.
How about Sanders?
I'll tell you what, Cobb Kirby also. Cobb Kirby came in for Ryan Bonds. He knows on the floor trying to spread something. Cobb Kirby's come in and got 3 buckets underneath, got a number of rebounds.
And he's done it with 3 fouls and picked up his 4.
Right.
And he's just a freshman, and I won't say he's a freshman anymore after this game if IPFW wins. Hefner with a steal, slipped on the floor. A little walking music. Marsnick will inbound. This is, if you're an IPFW fan, the heart-stopping part. Right here, they have had problems getting the ball in.
We got 7 more minutes of this.
You wouldn't have it any other way. 72 apiece. Glidden on the drive baseline. Hefner shut him off, but Glidden finds a sliver.
Not quite sure how he got that through there, but he did.
Hefner back the other way. The runner doesn't go. Sanders out of there with the board. Thomas picks up the foul. And this is as loud as the Mastodon has been in a while.
And I'll tell you what, Paul, it looks to me like Southern Indiana's team's getting riled right now. That was a terrible choice of shots by, I think it was Hefner who shot that ball.
Yeah. That's a playground shot that you only get 2 points for it. And you're rarely going to get that runner to fall. Put it up right-handed. Had the side of the backboard to contend with, too. Well, this is one of Southern Indiana's specialties. They put a big man on the inbound player. Glidden controls it, has a triple team almost for him on him. Runyon ahead to Sanders. Sanders had the idea to go to Kirby. Back out to Sanders now on the drive. Has trouble. Sanders reset. Duarte slipped it. Back into his hands. Thank you for the assist, Sanders. And it's a 4-point lead. Largest lead of the night for IPFW, 76-72. Marsnick picks up the foul on top. That will be 1-and-1 time.
You know what? That's Russ Marsnick's first foul.
Unbelievable. He has played a solid game tonight. And Steve Sanders is tired.
Hey, I'm tired. We're just sitting up here.
What a lift off the bench Steve Sanders brings to IPFW.
I was going to say a little while ago there was no way Southern Indiana was going to score 100 points tonight, but I think I'm not going to say that because I still think they can score 24 points in the next 6 minutes if they keep going up down the floor like this.
Well, they're going to be in the bonus the rest of the way. The good news for IPFW, the next foul by Southern Indiana will also put IPFW in the bonus. How many minutes has Marsnick been out on the floor tonight? At least 30.
Yeah, he's been out. I think he's just got one short blow in the first half and a short blow here in the second. It was only about a minute in the second. I don't remember how much it was in the first half.
Well, the first half, they have him listed for 18 minutes. So we're 34 minutes deep in here, and he's only had 3 minutes rest.
And he's handled the ball the majority of that time.
That's right, and he's had to break the press. And he's delivered a 3 or 2.
And he actually looks pretty fresh.
6:05 to go on the clock, 76-74. Number 5, Southern Indiana, 14-2 coming in against number, well, I don't know if we go that low. Glidden, ball knocked away. Kirby retrieves. Spots whirling wide open. 12 on the clock. Kirby now over to Runyon. Now Marsnick with 8. Got to go up with it. In and out. Kirby there for the rebound and the foul.
Kyle Kirby has been around the ball this second half.
IPFW just finished that 5-12. They've had a couple of big wins. They beat number 15 Northern Kentucky last week. Beat a good University of Indianapolis team. Not sure if they were ranked. They have been in the nether regions of the also with votes.
I think they were in the I think they were rated like 6th in the region when they came in.
But this one would be huge. Kirby now, 2 shots.
He should take his time, follow through. kind of pushing the ball.
70% free throw shooter on the year, 77 in Great Lakes Valley Conference action.
There you go.
Much better. 3-point lead now, 5:44, and IPFW with a press of their own. Ooh, I don't like that. They had trouble being effective with it Thursday night. Rebound, follow, Stan Guard.
But Hebner took another bad shot. That's what the press is intended to do, is not to necessarily get the ball.
Off of Eddie going the other way.
I'll tell you what, looks like Jason Whirling's leg got pulled off.
Having a yard sale. Players leaving jerseys all over the floor. Fortunate to get that one back, IPFW is. Gilbert initiated the steal. Big weak span goes 6'8", and Glidden cannot retrieve from Whirling, and there's the turnover.
They're just going too fast, Paul. You need to slow down, take your time. And again, that's what the press is designed to do. It's not necessarily designed to take the ball away. It's to make the other team make a mistake, or at least work hard in getting a bucket.
We have a push off Kirby. Is he gone?
That's it.
Ooh. Well, now we'll see how IPFW counters with this one. You have a couple of options. You don't know if Ryan Bond is one of them. Don't see him on the bench.
He is walking behind the bleachers there.
And he's getting the ball in.
But you're right, he's coming back in. So we'll hope he's healthy here.
Cal Kirby, what a big lift in the second half he has provided for Coach Andy Piazza.
7 points, but a number of rebounds, just played good defense down inside.
Steve Sanders back in. He came out a minute and a half ago. Here's the replay. Kirby did have a hold of Guard on the hip and had as a tough defensive assignment. Gets the bonus. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, just had Guard had inside position, and Kirby didn't have much choice. Must give him the basket or foul.
This is for the lead. And Guard will come out at the 5:20 mark.
I'll tell you what, he's got 25 points, and if you recall in the first half we talked about he just doesn't force it, but he's still getting his point.
Cortez Barnes in the game for him. Barnes almost with the steal. Now Sanders, dangerous dribble against Hebner, gets it ahead to Marcinick. This is Sanders now driving, cut off by Hebner. Glidden with the ball, back out to Marcinick. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Sanders, that's a 2. Runyon with the rebound, outside Glidden now. Spotting, Bond with it, put back, rejected by Gilbert. Bond was going to throw the no look off the glass.
Yeah, I'm not sure he had any choice. It's too bad because it was clearly an easy bucket if he could have got turned around.
Held ball. Which way is it going, Southern Indiana?
I'll tell you what, that's one of those calls that's pretty lucky for Ryan Glidden. It's another one to reach around, and the official quickly called a held ball instead of a foul.
78-77, Southern Indiana. The 1-point lead, 4:40 to go. Inside, Bond trying to take the charge. Gilbert with a follow, out of bounds off of Gilbert. And this is living dangerously for IPFW. I wouldn't say it's the year of living dangerously, but it's sort of seemed to work out this way in the past 4 games here at home. All close contests, IPFW really making Andy Piazza earn his pay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Paul, you played in the Great Lakes Valley Conference, you're going to have to win the close ball games if you want to be a contender.
Sanders troubled, Bond, and knocked away by Southern Indiana. Hostetter back in the game, Larry Eddy coming out, and here comes Stan Guard. Well, he was out about minute 8 on the shot, on the big clock anyway. Maybe 2 minutes overall. Might see him the rest of the way. Jack Gilbert coming out. Gilbert might not have many points, but he's been effective on that press.
Oh, he's been the point man on that press, and he's a big guy to throw over and around.
So again, IPFW trouble. 5 seconds, just beat it into Runyon. Marcinick now with the ball, 10 on the clock. Has Hebner on him. Looking for a clear out. Has Runyon spot down low. Off of Runyon. There were just 3 seconds on the shot clock anyway. Right idea, Andy Piazzi says to Russ Marcinek. Sanders trying for the steal, gets it.
What a great defensive play by Steve Sanders over there.
Oh, man, and here we go again.
I'll tell you what, for some reason, Southern doesn't press on the side. I don't understand why. Their press has been so effective.
Not only that, it taking the ball away, but it's just disrupting IPFW getting the offense. It takes them 15 seconds to get set up. Here's Glidden, the soft touch, doesn't go. Guard with a rebound. Runyon picking up the foul. Boy, Glidden was wide open. Got to hit those little 8-footers. This might really come down to who's going to shoot free throws better.
Yeah, and you can't. And the next one will be 2 for Southern Indiana, and you just can't afford to give them. Plus, you can't afford to let Guard go to the line either, even on a one-on-one. There you saw the replay. KC just was a little out of position, tried to reach for the ball instead of trying to work his feet to get position.
Guard 63% on the season. I knew I saved that one for the right time.
And Russ Marcinek.
Oh, too strong for Ryan Bond.
But it's another one where we don't need to make that play. We're down 1 point. We need to get the bucket. Not have a great play. I hate to criticize Russ because I think he's played a great game.
Oh, he's played a dynamite game.
It's not a very good choice there.
And also, that pass was a little strong, but Bond is obviously not 100%. Has a muscle pull or something wrong with his legs right now, not getting off the floor as well. This is Guard in the lane, got hit by Runyon. And this now puts Southern Indiana in the double bonus. IPFW is in the 1-and-1. The next 2 fouls, however, only 17 fouls on Southern Indiana. So 3:18 to go. Southern Indiana, 11 of 19 in the first half. They're going to have to win it from the foul line tonight.
That's 8 for 10 right there in the second half, so they certainly picked up their percentage in the second half.
And maybe, I don't know, Dan, what you feel about this, but when you know you have 2 shots, it definitely takes the pressure off that first one. There's that press again. Into Sanders. He releases now Marcinek. 3:13 to go. Trailing by 3. Need a good look at the basket for IPFW this time down the floor. Runyon trying to spot up. This is Sanders all by himself. Yes! Going to his left. 1-point lead now for Southern Indiana. 80-79, and looking for them to get the ball to Guard. Maybe not. Hebner picking a good time for a 3. Jackson saving. He has Sanders up ahead. Sanders, Guard on him, and Guard with a foul.
Paul, we have a little over 2 minutes left to go in the game. Stan Guard has 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 points, and that's his first foul.
The thing is, he's playing defense.
He is playing defense. It's not like he's sandbagging back there.
And he meant to foul that time. Perhaps if he hadn't meant to foul, he could have gone for the block. Made up his mind early he was going to take Sanders' angle away from him. 2 shots. And Sanders hits the first to close the lead to 3. 83-80. 2:33 to go.
That's 15 points for Sanders here in the second half.
Oh, he's dynamite. He is a good player. And he's just a freshman.
You're right. This freshman class is just unreal.
Oh, I don't like it when IPFW presses. Wasn't effective Thursday night. And they got burned on it here. Jackson coming to the ball. 4-point lead for Southern Indiana, 85-81. Jackson penetrating, no foul called. And Hebner back the other way. Didn't need to go up with it. Why not, though? 6-point lead. Timeout for IPFW.
But I'll tell you what, Paul. This play down at the offensive end had to be a foul there. There either had to be a charge or there had to be a blocking foul. One of the two. The officials cannot just let that be a no call.
There was big contact between Guard and Jackson. Guard off the floor. No foul called. Back the other way. Hebner hits it too. Well, while we have this break, 1:59 to go. If you like the excitement you're seeing on the screen, you can get into the action in person by joining the Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons Club is the official booster club. IPFW athletic teams. Members enjoy priority seating at all IPFW sporting events. Food and refreshments in the hospitality room. Admission to IPFW sports media luncheons. And get to socialize with Dan Gephardt and Arnie Ball and all the great staff out here at IPFW. If you like more information on that, call Jan Walco at 481-6642.
In spite of that socialization with some of us, it is a good organization to be a part of.
Is there another word for socialization? I don't know. We'll just leave that one go. 1:59, 87-81, IPFW with the ball. I don't know if you look for a three right now. There's still plenty of time.
No, I think you're right. I think you want to just work the ball, get a good shot. You don't need to be in a hurry. There's still plenty of time left. We're going to play good defense at the other end.
You do have to have a defensive stop somewhere along the line. It's at least a two-possession game for IPFW. 35-second shot clock. This is Marcinek now. And this play has probably got to be one of the most consistent scoring plays for IPFW. 20 on the clock now. Marcinek out high. Sanders setting a pick. Now the screen down to Sanders. Marcinek in trouble. Sanders with 10 on the clock. Looking. Bond setting a pick. Did he get a foul? Oh, it's against Southern Indiana. I thought Bond might have picked up a foul.
Yeah, it looked to me like he rotated a little bit.
Is that going to send to the line? Is it Bond or Sanders? Duard picks up the foul. Sanders, who is just at the line. Hit both three pros earlier on. Duard with the foul to reach around, trying to get around Bond. So 1:33 to go. A timeout by Southern Indiana. And while we have this break, as you check out the IPFW bench, next Saturday, February 4th, 6 p.m., Ashland, a team that beat Southern Indiana, gave them their first loss, will be in here against the IPFW ladies at 6 p.m. And then at 8, or 20 minutes approximately after that game ends, the Ashland men's team will be in here against the Dons. And I know Coach Piazza would look forward to that one. He feels they didn't play very well over in Ashland the first time around.
You know, this young team didn't have a very good non-conference record, but they've actually played very, very well in the conference. You know, we've talked over and over again about how strong this conference is. And, you know, we're, 3-5 in the conference right now?
3-5 in the conference, but you have 3 teams ranked in the top 20.
That's exactly right.
And IPFW already has one win over then number 15. Northern Kentucky. Mentioned a little earlier the coaching pedigree. Southern Indiana coach Bruce Pearl spent some time at Iowa. Has been now with Southern Indiana's second year. Actually, it is his third year at Southern Indiana, so his second year pretty good. Go to the national championship. Not bad.
Well, in his first year, they went to the regional with IPFW back with Sean Gibson and Shane Gibson.
I'm not sure. I'm just going to fish around here, but wasn't Coach Andy Piazza in the running for the Southern Indiana job?
Yes, when Bruce Pearl got the job, as a matter of fact.
Stuck it out here. Had a nice program 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, rather. Was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
Sean Gibson.
Yep, 2 years ago.
Playing over in Europe, I believe now.
Right.
Got sidetracked there, but Sanders brings it back to 4. 87-83. The press again by IPFW has not been effective tonight. And Boyden. That's goaltending. Took away a basket. Hebner did not hear the whistle. That could have been a potential three-point play. Instead, Boyden will go to the line. He hits 71%. He'll have 2 shots. 1:28 to go. And the first is good to push it to 5.
Paul, I'm looking down the roster here. It doesn't look like Southern has too many poor shooters. They only shoot about 70%, but most of them are right around the 70% mark. So really there's no one to pick out to say you want to foul this person if you need to get into a fouling situation.
That was pretty clutch by Boyden, rather. Marshnick on the push. Bond can't handle. Guard, the steal up ahead. This is Barnes. 91-83, 1:16 to go. That might do it. This is Sanders going baseline. Shut off by Boyden. Assist. And Bond with a basket to cut it to 6. 91-85, 1:06 to go.
If you remember, at 6 minutes, Southern Indiana was at 76, I said. Now they're at 91. I still think they got an opportunity to hit that 100, that century mark.
Well, they're going to have to do it from the free throw line. You mentioned who do you want to foul if you could take on the entity of being IBFW. Guard is 63%. But do you foul him? He has a potential anytime. I mean, if he's got the ball in his hands, that could be a three-point play.
Yeah, Barnes and Guard are both 63%. And Joel Thomas is 42%, but I'm not sure Joel's been going to see much action here at the end of the game. And actually tonight, I tell you what, Guard is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 for 12. I'm not sure I'd would want the ball in his hands tonight the way he's playing. So
that's pretty good. Is that around 80%?
75, I think. Exactly.
75. Okay. Dan Gebhardt is a number scruncher here at IPFW.
You got it. Actually, IPFW needs to do some number crunching here. They need to. I think we talked the last time out about three-point shots. I think we're at the point now where three-pointers are going to be critical.
Ryan Glidden is not in the contest right now. He is the guy that puts up more three-pointers than anybody else. 33 of 100 coming into the contest. He's on the bench right now. Jason Whirling can hit the three-pointers. Steve Sanders, Russ Marshnick will have to heat up from the outside. First of all, got to have a defensive stop here. Reset the situation. 91-85, Southern Indiana with the lead in 1:06. And they get the ball inbounds. What do we have? A push-off.
That's a good call.
Whoa.
They usually won't call that at this point in the game, but that was a good call.
Oh, my. What a turnaround that is.
And actually, he doesn't need to. He's that much bigger than Russ Marshnick that he can go straight up and get the ball.
Do you want to hear the size differential? Boyden goes 6'5". Of course, he's 215, so he's just a mountain to 5'8" Russ Marshnick. Instead, Marshnick going to the free throw line. Got to hit them both here. Marshnick 76% coming into the game. Ooh. It still would have been a two-point possession or two-possession game for IPFW. Now they will need a three-pointer somewhere down the line. 1:05 to go. 35-second shot clock again. Boyden this time does not push off, and Marshnick picks up the foul. And Boyden was just on the line a minute ago. Hit both free throws pretty cleanly too. IPFW also in the double bonus from here on in. Don't think Southern Indiana has any designs to foul IPFW though. 2 seconds off the clock, and if we keep this pace up, they might score 200. Boyden gets them both. It's back to 7 points. 1:03 to go. This is Marshnick now. Looking inside, trying to spring Sanders on the outside or Whirling. Picked up now. Sanders open. Back outside. This is Guard. Gets a hand on it. Whirling trying to stop him. It won't work.
No, he walked. Yes, sir. He walked way before the foul. That's a very good call. I'll tell you what, this official has stepped up here tonight and made a couple great calls.
And the official that made that call was the one who called the push-off on Boyden. 93-86, another chance. IPFW, the life support machine on right now. They need a basket. Runyon.
Not sure he didn't travel either, though.
Bond with a follow. It doesn't go. And Guard picks up the foul.
Now Bruce Pearl's having a little fit in front of the bench.
Well,
I think a couple years ago, fans might remember that he got ejected from a game here.
he just said a naughty word. Set it away from the playing floor. It has to do with, I believe, some type of physical function of a cow. Cow, heifer, bull. Probably a bull. Yes, that would be what it is.
Yes.
Okay, won't elaborate on that anymore. Chance to cut it to 5 with 33 seconds to go. 93-88. Oh, inbounds right away. Boyden gets it ahead. Hostetter, Guard, gonna pull it back out. Smart play, no shot clock. IPFW has to foul. Oh, and Bond picks one up. Hebner going to the line for 2.
That's a difficult call there. It looked like we had the ball free and clear, but I don't know if we got the ball because Bond fouled or whether...
Well, we were blocked by the scoring bench and the scoring table on the bench of Southern Indiana. Couldn't get a clean look at it. Bond didn't protest all that much.
I'll tell you what, Paul, I'm just looking at the scoring unofficially. Guard has 27, Barnes has 17, Hubner has 17, Boyden has 16. Pretty balanced scoring for Southern Indiana. IPFW taking a timeout here with 23 seconds.
23 seconds, 93-88. We'll take a break as well.
You're going to go down and interview with me.
Check it out. The campus has it all. Learn it, or work it, or play it, just do it. It's a cool place. Call now. Go to work, go to school, go ahead.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center on the campus of IVFW. Great Lakes Valley Conference action. Men's style, Southern Indiana. Your leader by 5, 93-88, 23 seconds to go. And Mr. Brian Hebner on the line.
An 85% shooter, so not a good choice.
I don't know if there is a choice anymore. You got to foul the person with the ball. Make sure, try and get a piece of it. So right now it is obviously a 2-possession game for IPFW. They need Hebner to miss the second free throw here. They have any type of shot at it. Marcinick now picks up the ball. Runyon ahead. This is Sanders. He's got Hebner on him. Turns around, spots up, misses. Bond there for the follow. Sanders wide open. What have we here? Another foul stops it with 13 seconds left. 7-point deficit to make up. Now do you miss the second free throw?
You know what, Paul? No, well, yeah, you probably have to. But I'll tell you what, Paul, that if I was Bruce Pearl, I'd be a little bit upset with my team right now. They've made two critical fouls down here late in the ball game when they're up by points. They don't need to put the other team at the free throw line with clock stopped.
And Sanders, he has been impressive tonight. Probably will be the player of the game for IPFW. How many points in the second half for Sanders?
That's 18.
18 second half points. 22 overall, trying to go to 23. And it's now a 5-point game. And a chance for IPFW to set up their defense as Sanders' second shot tangled up the net. And Marcinick called for the foul against Boyden. They sought to about do it.
That's interesting. I agree with the call. It was a foul. He called it a hold, and Russ Marcinick got his hands back. So I would call it a push. I'm not sure I'd call that a hold. But.
Well, if you see that tomorrow, that will be pass interference. Super Bowl. Marcinick shielding Boynton's eyes from the pass. And the favorite in the game tomorrow? Well, who do you like, Mr. Gebhardt?
Oh, I got to go with the Niners. Actually, my sentimental favorite is the Chargers, but I just don't see it. But I'll be honest, I didn't see them beating Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh either. So
that's true. That's true. I guess more attention has been made to the betting line, which is up around 18, 19 points wherever you're doing your friendly wagering at. 97-90. 11 seconds left in this one, and this one was closer than many people expected. Marcinick missing. That's going to do it. Guard saving. 97-90 the final. IPFW had a 4-point lead at one point. Played well in the second half. Another loss for IPFW, but you can see the potential.
Well, and again, I know that Indy Piazza is disappointed, and he's probably going to make the comment again that there are no moral victories, but I'll tell you what, this young team has really played well here at home. I've talked to some people who've gone on the road with the team, and they're not impressed with the way they play on the road. But again, I think that's what happens when you have a bunch of freshmen. And in all the games I've seen him play here at home, they've really hustled. They've won some, they beat Wayne State early in the year.
Right.
They beat Indianapolis. They beat Northern Kentucky. They've given both Kentucky Western and Southern Indiana, I think, all they want.
Like Southern Indiana coming out of here with a 97-90 win. They can appreciate now what Kentucky Wesleyan went through Thursday night.
Well, and 7 points really isn't the true story of that game. As you said, it was IPFW with 4, lead by 4 with about 10 minutes to go and a half, and never really let them get run away with the game. So.
Okay, we'll take a break right now. The final one more time, Southern Indiana, 97-90 over IPFW. It's been a good one. We'll see if we can get Steve Sanders on the floor after this break.
First-year IPFW women's basketball coach Pam Bowden is enjoying a fine preseason after coming to IPFW from the University of Alaska Anchorage. She has inherited a club which returns no seniors but still enjoys one of the top ratings in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. We want you to tune in every Wednesday at 7:30 to find out more information about the IPFW women's basketball team all season long.
Check it out! The campus has it all. Learn it, or work it, or play it, just do it. It's a cool place. Call now! Go to work, go to school, go ahead.
In our ever-expanding world, we need a reliable source, one that addresses important aspects of our daily lives and provides us with useful information. Health and Home Report is that source, with stories on how to get the most for your money, where to go for a great vacation, hot fashion tips, what's happening in the world of arts and entertainment, and the latest medical breakthroughs. Health and Home Report provides a world of information.
The college basketball season is underway for 1994-95, and the Great Lakes Valley Conference has been rated by some as the toughest of the NCAA Division II conferences. Join Coach Andy Piazza and me, Matt DeLong, to get a closer look at the IPFW team and this year's competition.
Hello, I'm Arnie Ball. And I'm Tim Heffron. Watch us every Friday evening at 7 p.m. for IPFW Volleyball Highlights. We'll also describe strategies and fundamentals for all you new volleyball fans. We may even invite a volleyball or two to join us on the show, so tune in to us every Friday night at 7 p.m. here on Channel 6.
Welcome back to the Hillary Gate Sports Center as we wrap this game up between Southern Indiana Screaming Eagles and the IPFW Mastodons. Southern Indiana wins 97-90. We at IPFW are pleased to be able to bring you cablecast of NCAA athletic competition. We hope you've enjoyed the show and the excitement of intercollegiate sports from IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of many volunteers, we are able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. Your contribution will help defray the production costs not covered by the Channel 6 budget. The College Cable Access Center invites you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contribution to the Channel 6 at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. Please make your check out to the Indiana Purdue Foundation at Fort Wayne and designate it for College Cable Access Athletics. We're going to send it down to the floor. Paul's with the Dandy Don player of the game, Steve Sanders. Down to Paul.
Positive out of this is a moral victory. I know Coach Piazza doesn't like to talk about things like that, but you've come close to two teams that are in the top 10.
Yeah, we don't really like to take moral victories, but, you know, you can see some positives definitely from the beginning of the season. I mean, even from Thursday when we got out-rebounded fairly badly, even tonight I thought we rebounded a lot better against a better rebounding team. So, you know, there is things that are positives that we can take out of it and just improve on everything else. So.
Okay, one of the positives got to be in your game that you're coming on and getting the ball and you're doing something with the ball. You're putting a lot of points on the board. You tell me earlier as a senior in high school you only averaged 20, and you're scoring quite a bit more here at IPFW.
Yeah, I think, you know, first half today I only had about 4, but it's just like if I let the game come to me, it seems like if I build confidence, you know, like for a while there, it seemed like I couldn't miss, you know, and just letting the game come to me and building my confidence, which is a key, I think, to scoring at this level, is a lot of confidence. And, you know, I think that I just had some confidence tonight. So.
Okay, what about the confidence of this team and the late going? Because you're playing a lot of close games now. What is this doing for the team, confidence-wise? Because earlier in the season, there were some teams you didn't play so well against it. Now you're competing with teams up until the final buzzer, good teams.
Yeah, we talked about it. We alluded to it today kind of before the game, you know. Earlier this season, there'd be games we'd be close to maybe the first half, then we'd lose by 30. But, you know, even with these top 10 ranked teams, you know, we've been able to stay close, you know, and at least just give ourselves a chance to win, where earlier in the season we weren't, you know. And even with good teams like this, you know, we're able to hang in there and give ourselves a chance to win at the end.
Okay, how about the improving? Got Ashland coming up here. What do you think about them? What do you have to do to beat them? Team continue to do the things they're doing well. The rebounding, like you say, improved tonight. Shooting was pretty good too, and Marcinek played a good game.
Yeah, I think, you know, we went to Ashland. We didn't play very well at all. Kind of got embarrassed, you know, and they're coming to our place this time. And I think if we play like we did these last 2 games, you know, a few things we could improve on, you know. But, you know, if we keep improving and definitely keep the things that we did well the same, I think we could definitely be looking at a victory against Ashland. So.
Okay, last question here. Coming off the bench, when are you going to start?
Hey, you have to talk to Coach Piazza. I don't know about that one. You know, I mean, we have some good players in there, you know, just if I get my chance, you know, I just want to capitalize on it. So.
Well, you sure did tonight. Sure did. Thanks a lot, Steve Sanders. 23 points, 19 in the second half. Dandy Don, player of the game. Throw it back up to Dan Gephardt and put a wrap on it for us, Dan.
Thanks, Paul. We've got the official stats here for the victorious Screaming Eagles of Southern Indiana. They were led in scoring by Stan Gourard with 27 points. Cortez Barnes had 17. Scott Boyden had 18. Brian Hebner had 21. Larry Eady had 4. Chad Gilbert had 1. Kevin Caldwell had 7. Joel Thomas had 2 for a total of 97. For the Mastodons, Jason Werling had 6. Dane Adams had 2. Ryan Bond had 16. Ryan Glidden had 12. Russ Marcinek had 10. Kyle Kirby with 7. Steve Sanders with 23. Jeff Jackson with 10, and Jason Burkhardt with 4. As Steve mentioned, they did a great job rebounding. They out-rebounded the USI Screaming Eagles 37-28. This telecast of IPFW sports event is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, retransmission, rebroadcast, or other use of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. Don't forget to tune in to Channel 6 next Saturday evening at 6 to see the exciting GLVC basketball action as the Lady Eagles from Ashland University take on the IPFW Lady Dons. Then at 8, the men's team match up with Dons. For Paul Fauerbach, this is Dan Gephardt. Goodbye for now.